Welcome to the Coffee Club, broadcasting live from New York with your host, Felix, and co-host, Dr. Mark. So let's have a cup of coffee and enjoy the show.
There is no heaven. There is no hell. There is only this world and its dark reflection. And we do not know in which of the two worlds we are.
Thrill's gone.
Why didn't you let BB finish his singing?
The thrill is gone.
Well, I don't know. What thrill are you talking about?
The thrill, the stock market thrill is gone. It's taken a dive.
Oh, I don't know. I'm 66 years old. The thrill was gone for me a long time ago.
Yeah, tell me about it. And now we only have the memories. And if I remember right, I'm Felix.
And I'm Dr. Mark. At least that we remember our names.
Together we make up the Coffee Club.
That's right, that's right, that's right.
You see that, ladies and gentlemen? Memory isn't all that bad yet.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
We know who we are.
A song from the past.
A song from the past?
How low can you go?
Chubby Checker.
The Limbo Rock, and that's exactly what we have to describe our stock market today. In fact, the last couple of weeks. How low will it go?
Well, depends who you listen to.
Well,
what did it wind up today?
Well, it was down 580 this morning when it opened because of the reports from Japan and China. It was down over $1,000 in the first 15 minutes.
1,000 points.
1,000, well, yeah.
1,000 points, yeah.
Points. But
yeah, I know.
But the bottom line is, you know, if you listen to the experts, they tell you don't panic.
Time to buy.
Well, if you have the money, it's always time to buy. Yeah. But they said that this is just the stock market correcting itself. All right? That for months now, we've been on like cloud nine. We've been, the market hit a high of over 18,000 points, which is totally unheard of. You know, it was down to about 7,000 points when Obama took office under that terrible recession/depression that he inherited, and we managed to peck away and get back, but that unfortunately has not translated into the middle class, you know, which is a shame. But they say that people who, you know, have 401ks and retirement plans, don't worry because things will level off, and you know, if you should be a long-term investor. If you're a short-term investor, of course, you're going to get hit hard by this.
Well, unless you're, I guess some people who bought short now are making money.
Well, you know, the old classic advice that market analysts give you, you know, buy low, sell high, you know.
Unless you buy short.
But if you're a hedge fund person right now, you know, you got to be worrying.
Why? Hedge funds should be doing good now.
Well, I don't know.
If anybody here understands the market, give us a call because we sure as hell don't.
I don't. As I said many times, I don't have the money to invest, so the only time it affects me, which I know it does, is with my pension check. Okay, I know my pension check will definitely be down this next month because of the market. Okay, just have to learn to cut back and live with it. That's all. Because and I'm not complaining, because somebody out there will say, well, at least you're getting a pension. And, you know, bottom line is, I mean, I worked hard for that pension. So,
Oh, I thought you were going to say you hardly work for the pension.
No, I was one of the teachers that worked hard. What can I tell you? But I have the latest copy of Time magazine, and of course on the cover is the Donald, who says, deal with it. Very good article by Michael Shearer. I've seen him. If you've watched the Sunday shows, you've seen Michael Shearer reporting. Okay. It says what Trump told Time magazine. There are a couple of things here that I want to share with you. Feel free to jump in anytime, Felix.
Okay.
On the military policy, Trump says, I get my views from the media. Well, that's no great surprise.
He said he gets everything from the media because he has no inside.
Well, you and I were talking
scoops
about that. There's no reason why he should have any inside information because he's, number one, not in politics.
Yeah.
There's no reason for the powers that be to share the information with him.
The only thing he does say is all those generals and colonels and judges that are on CNN or Fox are all so well educated, so well informed that he listens to them and he learns.
Well, I notice he doesn't say anything about MSNBC, you know.
There are no generals on MSNBC.
They have a few. They have quite a few. Wesley Clark, Colonel Jack Jacobs. You know,
I'm kidding.
No, I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I watch it. You know?
I don't know if he mentioned NBC or not. I just mentioned Fox and.
But you know, it's funny. In one of his interviews, the Donald said that he would rely heavily on Colonel Jacobs, who is a Medal of Honor winner from Vietnam. Okay. West Point graduate. And when they asked Colonel Jacobs, he said, I haven't heard from him. He hasn't contacted me. He said, I think he's just throwing names around right now.
No, what he said was somebody that he thinks highly of. He doesn't have to call him to say that he thinks highly of him. Anyway,
let me finish this on military policy. He says, a lot of the views, and frankly, other people do as well. He said, the views that you see during those 10 to 15 minute segments or during the reading of a story are not a lot different from that of Jeb Bush sitting around with a policy group. All right, so now he's saying that, you know, he discusses politics with his people the way Jeb Bush does, and Jeb, at least, according to him, gets some information. On ISIS, he said, we're going to have to do something very strong. Well, gee, you think?
No, most people don't think. They're not doing anything strong.
Well, no. You know why? Boots on the ground. Who's going to go?
52% of the population says they're for it.
Yeah. And of those 52%, how many of them are old white men? Okay?
I have no idea.
Men.
It doesn't matter, but
yes, it does.
We're a populous state.
Of course it matters. It's like Phil Oak said, it's always the old who lead us to the war and always the young to fall. The old men aren't going to fight this war. Yes, you have many, proud Americans across the Midwest and the Bible Belt, okay, who want to fight for their country and will do whatever is necessary. But the bottom line is, you need a coalition. You need other people fighting. This is not our war. This is Syria's war. This is Saudi Arabia's war. This is the Jordanian war. This is Iraq's war. This isn't our war. We spent enough time fighting over there and for nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Well, that's because we should have done what Trump said, not go in 2003. in 4. He said it was a bad idea. He said it's going to create a vacuum.
Well,
cause
unfortunately, I mean, Hillary was one of the people who voted for that war. Barack Obama didn't vote for that war. Bernie Sanders didn't vote for that war. And I guarantee you that if Elizabeth Warren was in Congress at that time, in the Senate, she wouldn't have voted for that war
Where
either.
was she at that time?
She was teaching at Harvard. Professor, full professor.
Well, I don't know when she started politics.
Anyway, let me finish this.
Yes?
I'm picking up where I left off. Everyone would say he really doesn't have a plan. But one of the elements of what I said is that we go and take over that oil. Well, he said that before. We just go in there, blast the hell out of them, and take the oil back. Not so easy. And I have news for you. Just like the war of 1812 between France and Russia, where we get Tchaikovsky's 1812 overture, when Napoleon marched into Russia, the Russians burned Moscow to the ground rather than turn it over to the French. So I guarantee you, remember you heard it here first, before ISIS would turn anything over to the West or the coalition forces, they would blow up those oil wells so fast.
We're talking about blowing them up.
If you take it over, it gives you an, but they would blow it up beforehand,
No, by way of eliminating their wealth is by blowing up the oil fields. What are you talking about?
But we could take it. The coalition could take it over.
That means fighting. Easier to blow them up. Blow them up. Blow up the guys with them. Then you go in with your troops, and you go bring in your Texans that know how to put out those fires.
Well, they're having a tough time in Washington State, I'll tell you that, unfortunately. But continuing,
I'm talking about not those kind of fires. I'm talking the guys that work the oil fires.
well,
They plug up the oil. They plug up those fires.
didn't do us a hell of a lot of good in the Gulf states in Louisiana about 4 or 5 years ago, did it?
What
When,
kind of fires did we have?
When the offshore drilling, when that thing exploded.
That was completely different.
And it was spewing all the oil into the water.
What does this got to do with offshore? This is sand. Let it get it contaminated a little bit. Nothing lives there anyway.
Well,
You blow up those oil fields, and whoever's in there with them.
well, I think you should volunteer to be on Trump's cabinet. You have all these ideas. Why don't you go contact him?
Okay, I will.
Your opinion is like anybody else's opinion.
No, mine is like a double opinion.
Okay, getting
What?
back to what else he said.
You would think I had two of those things.
Well-
As many opinions as I have.
On the Iran deal,
Blow them up.
Trump says, I'm sure that there are things in that deal that even Kerry doesn't know about.
Yeah. What do you mean they're allowed to inspect their own nuclear places? Oh, well, that was a side deal we made with Obama. You didn't have to know about it, John.
Yeah, I know. On immigration, on deporting the 11 million undocumented immigrants, it's all going to work out. It's called management. That's what he says. Politicians can't manage. All they do is talk. Well, we've heard this a lot from him. And you know something?